It's 9:47. We've got to talk about something that's going on this week in downtown Grand Rapids. Ultimate Sports Show returning to DeVos Place. Ben Nielsen is joining us this morning here in the studio to chat all about it. I know we have a lot of these expos and shows during this time of year. What makes this one so unique and stand out from the rest?
First off, it's the 80th anniversary of the Ultimate Sports Show. Grand
Perfect.
Rapids.
Wow.
So I would say, start off with a big bang on that one.
Yeah.
80 years downtown Grand Rapids.
That's
so
awesome.
We're happy to do that. And this show, with it being the Ultimate Sports Show, is about the outdoorsman, the hunting, the fishing, that whole side of things. There's been a lot of shows over the winter at DeVos Place, kind of touching on all different areas, but this one specifically is more about the outdoorsmen, the hunters, and the fishermen.
Okay, so over the course of 4 or 5 days that you guys are doing this, what sort of things are people going to expect when they walk into DeVos Place?
Well, anything that has to do with hunting and fishing, right?
Okay.
So fishing boats, fishing tackle, fishing trips. You could, plan a trip to Alaska or Africa or any of these other places. All those outfitters will be down there as well. And then, on the hunting side, lots of hunting products and hunting trips and things like that. And lots of things to do there for the family as well.
Very cool.
Headed into the spring season, I'm sure people, if it's been up for 80 years in the making here, that people have some expectations. What are things that are returning this year? And then maybe what are some things that are new?
Yeah, when it comes to some of the standard features of the sports show that have been around forever, the number one thing is the trout pond, right? When I was this big, I was going to the trout pond in Grand Rapids, right? So, we see multi-generations there of people kind of introducing their kids to fishing through that trout pond. So that's kind of a staple of the sports show. But our Lake Ultimate is back again this year, which is an actual 40 by 90 lake that we put inside of DeVos Place.
Wow.
It's got
Come
docks.
on, how do you guys pull these things
well,
off?
just like the garden at the Home and Garden show, they have like this big garden in the middle of it and like all these big displays. It's insane to me that you guys spend all that time for just 4 days. But I guess
it's worth it. There's no doubt about it. That's what we do.
So
what else?
Yeah, so there'll be a dock inside of it. Obviously, boats floating. There'll be fish in it. People driving a boat around inside of DeVos Place, which is kind of different. But family activities, the rock climbing wall is a staple. You can learn to tie a fly for fly fishing. And then obviously all of the different seminars that we do there. We have 5 different seminar stages that are going nonstop throughout the entire show. So learn how to fish or learn how to hunt.
And you've got, I'm assuming, experts on each of those stages. Like, what's an example of like maybe one show that you guys have out this year?
I would say when it comes to seminars, the 2 headliners I would mention would be Kevin Van Dam, who's a local Michigan guy, but considered to be the best fisherman in the world.
Okay.
Doesn't get any better than that. And then Mark Zona, who is also kind of more on the personality side of things, but those are really big names that'll be at the show this year. But we cover every topic. So whether it's bass fishing or walleye fishing or salmon fishing on Lake Michigan, perch fishing, bluegill fishing, anything from, taking the kids and fishing for bluegills off your dock to really getting into, really advanced tactics for catching walleye. Kind of everything in between is going to be there.
Wow.
Now you start talking floating docks and boats flying around and all that stuff, and I'm like, hey, there's a price tag on that. But then you start talking about just casual fishing off your dock, and it seems like there's a good range, something for everyone.
There is something there for everybody. And really, fishing itself and hunting as well, it is for everybody. I mean, you can, buy a simple $10 rod and reel and stand on the bank, or you can buy a great big boat and do so it really is something for everybody, which is one of the greatest things about it. And so, we're happy to have all of that at the show there this year and really kind of showcase the outdoors for everybody.
Yeah, can you talk about the planning that goes into a show like this? I know that, we have a lot of show-span shows over the course of this season here, and there's a lot of planning for each of them. So specifically for this one, how do you guys, plan to put entire pond in the middle of DeVos Place? How do you organize all the vendors? How does that all come together within this short time to make 5 days of,
I'm glad you say that it feels like a short time.
Yeah.
Right. I'm working on next year's show right now.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a lot of planning involved, and a lot of different pieces come together. So specifically on the sports show, we have exhibitors that come from all over. Right. So the details of getting somebody from Africa to get here on time to move in on a Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. There's a lot of
feels
planning.
Like the stars
involved,
that have to align to get everyone in.
But that's what we do, and we love it. And a lot of these features do happen year after year. Lake Ultimate isn't something that we do one year and then forget about it. So the people at the building that we work with are fantastic, and they help us obviously organize all of that. And we just look forward to it. It's fun. It's a
Yeah,
big party.
absolutely.
Oh, it sounds like a great time. For someone, okay, so if my dad's walking in, my dad knows, like, he's like, I'm gonna go to that booth and that booth.
Yep.
But if
Yeah.
I walk in, I'm like,
Overwhelming, right?
where's dad?
Like,
Because I need
I need a
help.
map.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the brand new person, they're for the first time approaching fishing, approaching hunting, what could they expect?
You know, to learn, right? You know, these people that are in these booths are the experts, you know, so talk to them a little bit, you know, and they're more than happy to kind of share that knowledge with you and kind of show you about it. Everybody there has a really big passion for what they do. So whether it's, you know, talking to an outfitter about maybe going on a trip someday or a charter captain, that's a really great way to kind of get involved in fishing is, you know, actually book a trip with somebody that is an expert and can kind of show you. It's definitely different when it's hands-on. Talking to some of the different tackle retailers there and seeing, you know, what kind of gear you need for that. You know, that's all going to be there. These people are the experts and they'd love to show you everything about it.
So I think from what we hear from all the shows that happen over the course of this time, there's a big emphasis on local people. I'm sure you guys have local vendors. How do you guys
Oh,
go
yeah,
to support those
absolutely.
folks that are here in West Michigan that are there to kind of be a part of this all
Yeah, we
week?
talked about the outfitters because we
Yep.
talk about far trips, but everybody else is going to be local,
Yeah.
right? Whether we're talking about, you know, DNR Sports in Kalamazoo, the Outdoorsman Pro Shop here in Jenison, a lot of different vendors from this area are going to be there as well. So everybody else is local, and our shows really are about the local economy, and we love it. And you know, when it comes to the boating side of things, you know, it's a great time to get a boat. It really is. It's a buyer's market right now, and so don't forget to look at those boats when you're down there.
Oh, I know. We're coming up on spring, summer boat season,
Yes.
and I'm sure people are already having their eye on a couple of purchases there.
Absolutely. I come from a boating, hunting, fishing family, and here's the thing: are they gonna find the deals? Because I know that's what's running through people's heads. Are there good deals when they
yes.
show up
You can tell
to the
your
show?
dad that there will be deals there. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, these guys, they plan on it all year, you know, so they do a lot of their buying, you know, in the off season. And if they know that they're coming to the show, they're looking for those deals. They don't unveil them until the show itself.
Okay.
right? So they're not at the store with these same prices. So they definitely come down there with those deals in mind. I've seen a little bit just in talking to some of them already. There's going to be some fantastic deals down there.
Good,
Yeah, that's pretty
good.
cool. You were talking about a lot of the planning that goes in, you know, year round, and you said you're already planning for next year's show. So when you're looking at current like hunting, fishing trends or whatever's popular in that space at this time, how do you plan for the next year? Because I'm sure that's got to be very difficult to stay on trend and on brand.
There's
for
no
each
doubt,
year.
and obviously things change, right? I mean, the economy changes, you know, all of those things change. But when it comes to hunting and fishing, you know, and I learned this, I came out of retail for 18 years, and people love it. When they have a passion for it, they find a way, right? And so we don't seem to be as affected by that. Certainly on bigger ticket items, you can run into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, you know, the sales are there. You know, the people want to do it, and you know, we're blessed to have a strong West Michigan, you know, community that really supports it, and couldn't be happier about that.
This is a big outdoor community. It really is. I mean, we
yeah.
live in Michigan. You know, a lot of nature involved here, especially on this side of the state. Whether you go to the big lake or you're up in one of the, you know, preserves here in the state. So pretty cool stuff.
So how do people find out what the vendors are? Where can they get tickets? That whole spiel.
UltimateSportsShow.com. That's
Oh,
where everything
one
is at.
easy
Yep.
spot.
Very easy to remember, right? All those details are there. Hours, you can buy your tickets in advance. We have a box office area you can buy them at as well. All the seminars, the seminar schedules, the exhibitor list, the map.
Okay.
All of that is
Yeah, I was
going to be
gonna say,
there
the
as
map's
well,
gonna be
right?
important.
So you're going to be able to look at that map and kind of plan a route. So all of that stuff will be up at UltimateSportsShow.com.
Do you guys have people there at the floor kind of helping navigate folks? Because
Yes.
sometimes when you walk into these shows, it can get very overwhelming. You know,
Yes.
you were talking about, if I
Yes.
walked in there, I wouldn't know where to
Right.
go. And what's the best way to kind of
Look
communicate
for the
what you
blue
want?
shirt.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? We call them our blue shirt staff, right? But they're out on the floor. They'll have a, you know, kind of a bright blue shirt on. Those people know everything about the show as well. So if you're looking for something, look up somebody in that blue shirt and they'll be able to help you immediately.
Dates and prices of tickets?
Yes, absolutely. We open up Thursday. We go 1 to 8 Thursday. We go noon to 8 Friday, 10 to 8 Saturday, 10 to 5 Sunday. Admission is $12 for adults. Children 6 to 14 are 5, and 5 and under are free.
And
Oh,
then there's like a
nice.
multi-day thing, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's new this year, that we
Okay.
have a multi-day ticket. So what we realize is there's so much to see. One day isn't enough,
Yeah.
right? Especially when it comes to the, you know, the seminar side of things. There's so many different seminars you can attend that you know, having that multi-day ticket and getting a little break on that is a good way to go.
Absolutely. I want to ask you too, because you mentioned, you know, we've talked a lot about the local folks that'll be there, but some of the people that are hosting those big trips. What are those trips? What can people do on some of those trips, or maybe what's one that you thought was interesting that you might want to take?
Personally, I've never been to Alaska.
Okay.
Oh, that would be so
I want to go to
beautiful,
Alaska
wouldn't it?
too.
That
yeah.
would be one that would be probably top of the list for me. You know, just to see that and fish while I was out there. You know, I like to hunt a little, or sorry, fish a little bit more than I do hunt. I do both, but going fishing in Alaska would probably be the top of my list.
Okay, yeah. So all sorts of different trips. I mean, you mentioned Alaska. You mentioned Africa. Is that right?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. And I would say our most popular one is probably Canada, Ontario.
Sure.
The fly-in fishing trip to Canada, you know, a lot of people are real familiar with that. So a lot of different, you don't have to go to Africa. I mean, there are some that are closer.
I mean, that would be cool to kind of go on an African safari, honestly.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
It's expensive, but I'm sure it'd be fun.
Not as much as you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
You can get the deals, Tanner.
Yeah,
They've got the
gotta
deals
go to
there.
the show.
That's right.
Fishing this time of year, everybody thinks that we're headed into spring, summer, but hunting, you know, I feel like my
Yeah, we're still
brain
a few months
goes
off.
to October. What are we talking, like duck hunting
So
or all
spring-wise,
sorts?
it's all about the turkeys.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, so turkey hunting
Gobble,
happens
gobble.
in the spring, right? Exactly. Yeah. I almost did that as well. So yeah, spring turkey hunting has become very popular in the state, and so that's what you know people are gearing up for right now. But the whitetail hunter, the people that you know really go after the deer in the fall, they're also starting to work on like food plots, land management. All of those things are happening right now. There's a thing called shed hunting, right? That's also real popular in the spring, where they're going out and actually looking for the antlers off the deer that dropped them over the wintertime.
Oh.
Kind of a weird
Oh.
thing, but there's a lot of
Little
that going
scavenger
on as
hunt.
well. Yeah,
Okay.
morel mushroom hunting is coming up,
Yep.
which is kind of you know another thing that they love to do, and really it's about getting outdoors.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Good.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for your time this morning. And again, that show starts this week. It's Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday at 1 o'clock.
through Sunday.
Absolutely.
All right. There you go. And of course, you can find all the details on their website. Thank you again. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.